Sure, Nadifa.
Ya, baik, terima kasih Pak. We have come to the end of our entire event today. Announcement towards who won the door prizes of today's event. But before that, let's have some closing speech coming from Professor Yunxia and also Dr. Sari Lenggugeni. To both Professor Yunxia and also Dr. Sari Lenggugeni.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Nada. And congratulations for a very successful workshop and exciting, engaging, and also interactive. Yeah, I just very quickly probably make 3 points instead of boring everyone, repeating everything again. And personally, I'm totally enjoying the whole session, every minute of it, and because it encourages me as well. And although some of the language I didn't get it, but I can see the emotion and the energy level coming out of people. Then, I just get very infectious, right? And it's so exciting. And not to mention the kind of level of speaking of the talks. It was excellent, very high quality as well. And I'm also touched by the enthusiasm of the speakers and the effort put into it. And so I'll quickly sum up a couple of points. First is about the commonalities of the speakers, right? And 3 points. Although the topics are spread out in 5 S areas, but there is the commonality, which is really stressing a learning by doing approach, looking at the practices and how to put into everyday practice about the opportunities and the challenges, looking at opportunities and challenges. Our first speaker, Neil Scott, a professor, for example, mentioned this very clearly about the resources and the uniqueness and the market and so on, right? And it's very much grounded in our everyday life as entrepreneur or simply as people learning or teaching entrepreneur like us, right? And I will not mention all the models, but all the models are so exciting as well, right? It's really grounded in research and best practice. And specifically talking about starting with everyday business practice, right? And looking at examples and how people do it and how we possibly incorporate into our practice in the 3 areas. Right, and not 3, more than 3, I just mentioned. For example, everybody agreed entrepreneurship and innovation cannot be taught. Although I teach sometimes, right, I feel quite guilty, right, about it. It's really a learning by doing. You need to put into practice. But however, we stress that education is very important because it is about competence, about empowerment, and also about engaging clients and engaging all stakeholders for a value creation process. And also the storytelling just now, and Mr. Danny, right, talked about, it was very interesting, I found, right? It's about how to measure and learn, reiterate the practices so that we can tease meaning out of the stories to build into this. Right, so that's my first point. And the second point is about complement, the all talks complement each other, but this is very quickly about different aspects, competence, sustainability, and media, and the storytelling. I love food, although I don't quite understand the language in the restaurant. I really enjoyed that. Right? I like Indonesian food, for example. So this makes a very exciting and also colorful presentation as well. And I really vouch for value-added practice. That's what we all aim for, and through best practice. The third point is about, it ties in very well with the project Jie and I are doing, looking at small businesses, how they become resilient. Actually, we found the same thing we identified. It's really the competence. It's the competence from within rather than from outside. It's a learning, continual learning, sustainable learning, media learning practice that put all the ideas together. I think we are all in this all together. And thank you once again for this. It is a long workshop, but very enjoyable. I don't feel the time really passed very quickly. Thank you for listening to me and for sharing. And we'll keep sharing this and about our exciting results and further challenges down the track as well. And I believe that we find the tips and models and the future directions that's quite clearly reiterated throughout this. I totally agree with this, and let's look forward to it. And see you next time. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Yunxia.
Thank you.
Now let's continue to close the whole entire event.
Yes, hello.
Hello, I think it's a little bit broken, but getting there.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Prof. Yunxia. Prof. Yunxia is the professor in the UQ Business School, Australia, University of Queensland, which is a leading business school in the world. So I do appreciate for your patience to waiting until the closing session, because I know this is probably quite difficult to understand the Indonesian language. But since our audience is mostly from Indonesia, so I would like to appreciate for you in waiting and see a whole of the process. And as a members of Australian Indonesia Business Resident Hub, we have six member actually. Dr. Ji Wang, Professor Yunxia, Lara Klestov, Wendy Pham, Dr. Futu Fatarai, and Dr. Donat Gomez, and I myself in the University of Andalas. So we would like to thanks to all of the speakers, which is very insightful, resourceful, and deliver a great presentation, which is I think that what the small and medium enterprise looking for, especially in the digitalization's context. So all of the speakers gave a different color in terms of how to enhance the quality of the small medium enterprises in the tourism industry. So I would like to say thanks for Iwan Febrian from Aceh, Professor Noel Scott from USG, Australia, Mrs. Liz Ward from Tribe and Nafi Tourism Digital, and Dr. Natasha from EarthCheck, and Afda Utama from Salero Minang in Melbourne, who gave an insight about how to build a business in Australia. And the last one, which is very interesting, Doni Eros, because in Indonesia, actually, we are now focusing on how to build the storytelling, as we call the storynomics, storytelling that make economic become growing. So very interesting, Eros. And also I would like to thanks to the moderator, Dr. Eros, Doni Eros, and also Dani Hidayat, and special MC, Nadifa Habibi, who guide us from the beginning till the end of the sessions. And also I would like to thanks for all of the participants who are really enjoy the seminar and interested in give all of the questions. And hopefully the seminar will benefit you in terms of knowledge, educations, or probably new insight, new trend knowledge that help the product for your small medium enterprise, or probably to create to enhance your knowledge in terms of small medium enterprise in tourism industry. Saya Dr. Sari Lembing sekali mengucapkan terima kasih atas partisipasi Bapak Ibu semua dan atas kontribusinya, dan AIBRHUB belum habis sampai di sini. Akan ada storytelling competition atau tourism innovation product competition storytelling untuk event yang nanti dalam bulan ini akan kita announce di Instagram AIBRHUB, website AIBRHUB, YouTube AIBRHUB, Facebook AIBRHUB, dan LinkedIn-nya. Dan stay tune karena nanti akan ada hadiah juga award bagi para pemenang, dan kemudian juga setelah itu kita akan ada mentorship langsung dari Australia untuk para pemenang dan dibimbing langsung oleh mentor-mentor terbaik dari Australia. Stay tune dalam Instagramnya dan kemudian di YouTube-nya, dan mudah-mudahan ini memberikan manfaat lebih baik. Dan salam dari Bapak Menteri Pariwisata Ekonomi Kreatif yang saya langsung report selama berjalannya workshop ini. Terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saya kembalikan kepada Nadifa.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih, Dr. Sari Lenggogeni and also Professor Yunxia. That concludes so much for Australia-Indonesia Business Resilience Hub. Hopefully everyone have learned a lot of insights about entrepreneurship and also a lot of things about tourism, and hopefully our economy will be able to recover. Now, coming on to the most important part after the closing, which is announce winner of the door prize. Jadi akan ada door prize yang disponsori oleh Wardah dan juga Australia Indonesia Business Resilience Hub. Dan selamat kepada Ana Susanti, Muhammad Abdul Hakim, Insi, Isamu, dan Alvin Adha. Selamat kepada para pemenang, dan hadiah akan diberikan oleh panitia. Jadi silakan pada para pemenang untuk dapat menghubungi panitia mengenai hadiahnya. Terima kasih atas partisipasinya pada acara hari ini. Semoga kita semua bisa mendapatkan hal insightful yang sangat insightful diberikan oleh para pemateri. Terima kasih juga kepada para pemateri yang telah meluangkan waktunya dan memberikan sharing ilmu yang sangat banyak. Dan terima kasih juga kepada Australia Indonesia Business Resilience Hub untuk sudah mengadakan webinar tourism ini. Dan semoga kita akan diberikan kesehatan yang akan lebih banyak lagi sehingga kita dapat berkumpul lagi di masa depan. Terima kasih semua. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Partisipan dapat meninggalkan ruangan Zoom. Terima kasih.